Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing our daily transparency update and also discussing Tesla stock. So with these videos, if you're new here, that just includes me talking about either my gains or my losses for every single stock market day for the portfolio. So I try to do these videos when I can, and with today's video, as you can see, we actually got a pretty big drop day, not just across Tesla stock, but across the board as well with most of the other stocks in the stock market. We do have on the watch list, at least Nvidia is in the green. Nvidia has actually been one that has grown a little bit lately. So at least for the Nvidia shareholders, you guys got a green day. But as you can see for Tesla and a lot of the ones across the board, whether it's VOO or NASDAQ, or just for the tech stocks in general as well, for some reason my watch list is completely out of whack right now. And I had Apple stock like near the top, I had Microsoft near the top, and for some reason now a lot of these like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, they're near the bottom. So I don't know what Robinhood keeps doing, but it's like rearranging my stuff. I used to have VOO and NASDAQ at the top, and then they wouldn't show up, so I had to add it to a separate list. So I don't know what's going on with Robinhood desktop, because it easily lets me change these things on mobile, but when I rearrange the positions on mobile, it doesn't translate over very well to the desktop. So a lot of the things that are usually at the top of my watch list are now down a little bit lower, like with Adobe, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. Maybe I'll just have to remove a few of these so I can get them near the top a little bit, but I just wanted to note that because the ones that are at the top of my watch list currently are not like my number one choices for stocks that I'm looking at currently. Robinhood just got everything jumbled up now. Okay, now I added a separate list for like your general stock market with VOO and NASDAQ, and then I'll also have some things separated out in the watch list, but unfortunately, the order is still messed up, so I'm just going to quit trying with that. Hopefully Robinhood gets things sorted. But just addressing the portfolio for today so far, we are currently at, for the normal market hours, minus 2.75%. That is minus $4,409.81. And for the after hours, we're currently at minus 1.02%, which is minus $1,594.35. And that leaves us currently with a portfolio at a value of $154,450.15. Now it's $465.23. But basically you get the gist, around 154.5, almost 155,000. And so I have to admit, just given everything going on with Tesla stock recently, it is getting a little bit boring because we're just going back and forth in this general price range. We've already been to almost 500, we've been to 498, and Tesla stock has lowered down significantly over the past couple of weeks with the battery day sell-off and all of those things. So we have seen the stock price drop significantly, but I have to mention it's a lot more fun and interesting when you're in uncharted territory and you're at all-time highs for Tesla stock. It could be a while before we reach that price tag once again for the share price. However, it is inevitable. It's only a matter of time in my opinion, because I think this stock will surge in the long term. I think this is going to make me a lot of money and turn this current $150,000 into much, much more in the long term. And so with that, we have to address the different time frames as well for the portfolio, including the weekly chart. And so for the past week, we're currently down 2.79%. That is minus $4,420.09. And for the past month, we are up 15.07%. That is plus $20,203.11. For the past 3 months, we're currently up 23.83%. That is plus $29,689.48. And for the past year, we are currently up 65.95%, which is plus $61,343.52. And then the same thing applies for the all-time chart as well, considering that I've been investing on Robinhood for under a year. So the all-time chart is currently the same as the yearly chart. That will change once we reach past the date of December 2nd. When we get to December 3rd, that's when I've been investing on Robinhood for over a year. So we have a few months from now on December 3rd. It's currently just early in October. So I'm definitely excited to see where we will end up for the portfolio as we start to get near that 1-year milestone date for my Robinhood portfolio. So it would definitely be pretty nice for us to reach that 100% gain for the portfolio. And if we check at the past year, the peak on August 31st was actually at around plus 92%. I think at one point we did hit over 100% for the portfolio. So if we can reach this around $178,000, around $180,000, then we would be getting pretty close to actually getting over that 100% marker. And keep in mind that I think we actually did hit over 100% on this day, but the reason that the gain percentage is down down a little bit more is because I've put more into my portfolio. I know that at least applies to Tesla stock. Like I used to have like a 120% gain in Tesla stock, and now that I've put a lot more into my portfolio, then it brings down that gain percentage a little bit because it also brings up your average cost basis. However, regardless, just addressing the past year, I'm really satisfied with how my investing career has gone so far. I mean, to get 66% in gains in less than a year is pretty impressive in my opinion, and I think as time goes on further, then I'm only going to be more and more satisfied with a portfolio, because my plan for the future right now, at least for the next couple of years, is for me to just keep on buying Tesla stock whenever I have a chance. Whenever I have cash that doesn't need to be used for something else, then I want to use it on Tesla stock, because I think this truly is one of the biggest opportunities of my lifetime, in which I think investing in Tesla stock could be a game changer in terms of my future and my life, and actually helping me live comfortable in the long term. Now, of course, some people could say that's wishful thinking. However, I think Tesla is a justifiable investment if you've done your research and you understand your company at a level that most typical investors don't understand Tesla. They make the common mistake of judging it as an automaker and not just any company that wants to create anything that they want to do. Honestly, as I've said in previous videos, I think Tesla is one of those companies that can shape itself into whatever it wants to be and produce whatever product they want to produce. And that also kind of references the fact that vehicle manufacturing is a very difficult process. Even Elon Musk himself has stated this before, and we all know that Elon Musk wouldn't state this if it actually wasn't true. So vehicle manufacturing is really one of those industries where you have to prove yourself, and Tesla's been able to do so. And then also just another thing to keep in mind is that not only are you building a prototype vehicle, and not only are you having to figure out how to build something at mass scale, and not only are you designing those products themselves, but you're also having to create the machine that makes the machine. So like with the production lines and the robots, when it comes to coding those robots and creating that software and capabilities, and also just creating the physical products themselves, that takes a lot of time and effort also. We think about the Austin, Texas Gigafactory and the Berlin Gigafactory. Berlin Gigafactory is actually pretty close to phase 1 completion, I believe, but you also have to think about not only the external infrastructure, but also what is going to be put inside those factories and how they're going to build the internals and how much time and effort it's going to take to build those machines that are going to produce these vehicles at mass scale. So a lot of hard work and dedication and time goes into making Tesla vehicles, and as we know, this is a difficult process. Elon Musk has stated this before. So I truly think that Tesla is one of those companies in terms of their mindset, their huge focus on optimization and efficiency. I think they have an inherent advantage in creating any product that they want to create just because of their mindset and because of these characteristics of this company. I think they're like no other company out there that exists today. I mean, there may be some similarities in companies that really have a focus on cost savings, but just keep in mind that with a lot of these other companies, whether they're a competitor or just another company in the world, most of these that have a focus on cost savings are not like Tesla in the sense that they are focused on efficiency, yet also really innovative and disruptive in terms of making risky decisions that other companies just would not be comfortable making. So yes, I know I went on a side note a little bit there, but to just address Tesla stock today in terms of the current movement, as you can see, we actually started out in the green today in the pre-market at 9 a.m. at plus 0.43%. That was around plus $682. And then once we hit the normal market hours, we saw a little bit of a downturn at 9:30. That was at minus 0.45%. It bounced back up here and there with some volatility, but the general trend was downwards, as I said, until this point at 11:25 a.m. And at that point, it was at minus 2.59% or minus $4,155.38. And then we started to see a little bit of an incline upwards until this point at 12:30 p.m. at minus 0.90%. After that, we got some more volatility, and then it inclined up until this point at 2:45 p.m. at minus 0.72%. And then we got a huge significant drop afterwards. Not really huge, I guess, in terms of like the actual movement for today, but in terms of this chart that we see, this is a pretty significant drop. So it spiked downwards to this point at minus 3.38% at 3:10 p.m. That was around minus $5,429. And then we got more volatility until this end of the day, 5 minutes before the after hours at minus 2.53%, and then more of a downturn as well. So volatility towards the end of the day, and then a downturn in after hours, and then it's slowly starting to tick back up right now at 5:14. So overall, today hasn't really been a great day for Tesla stock. It has been a general red day in the stock market. So as I've stated previously, Tesla tends to be one of those that drops a little bit more than your typical stock on a day where the general stock market is down. So this is really nothing new. A minus 3 to 4% drop for Tesla is nothing new at all. A lot of us hardened investors that have held this stock for a while understand that this is really nothing new. It's honestly business as usual. And that's like when I said in a recent video, like over this past week or past 2 weeks, we had like one day where it was a red day and Tesla only dropped around 0.50%. And I said, that's about as good as it gets when it comes to Tesla, because usually when it's a general red day in the stock market, it's usually way over just minus 0.50%. Sometimes it's minus 2 to 3%, minus 3 to 4%, sometimes even minus 5%. And then of course we've had those days where it's at minus 12%, minus 20%. But as I've said, a minus 3 to 4% drop for Tesla honestly isn't that bad considering the history of this stock. And then also, of course, you just have to address the fact that there's a lot of short-term traders that are playing around with Tesla stock. That's why we see a lot of volatility sometimes. Some people get in Tesla stock and realize that they're actually not a long-term investor and they end up selling. So you have that common lesson being taught every day with some of these investors really just figuring out themselves that they're not a long-term investor when they realize they can't handle the volatility of Tesla. Even recently, I had a friend that said they bought Tesla stock and then they sold it right after because they got a little bit scared after the drop, which is of course a rookie mistake in my opinion, but I get it. I get as a new investor how you may be tempted to do that. But once you start to learn the basic rules of investing and you have to tell yourself this is how you're going to have to deal with something like this, once you learn those things, then you start to learn a little bit more about not worrying about, the everyday drops in the market and the short-term things that really don't matter, especially if you're young and especially if you're a long-term investor. So I tried to explain that to my friend a little bit. I think it may just take a little bit more time and experience for them to learn how the market works, but that's how it is with everyone that's new to the market. You kind of have to just give them the rundown and explain the basics to them. But as I've said in previous videos, I think really one of the best pieces of information, let's not say advice because nothing that I say in this video or have said already is to be considered financial advice, but one of the biggest things I've learned about the stock market that has actually helped me personally is, like I've said previously, try to keep your emotions separated from the stock market, because when you're able to do that, you're not an emotional thinker when it comes to your money. And I think it's really good to keep your emotions separated from the stock market, because your emotions commonly lead you to make rookie mistakes in the market. Like with a day like today, if you were being emotional about a red day like today, you would likely sell. And in the long term, you're probably going to regret that you sold Tesla stock as you see it hitting all-time highs sometime in the future. Keep in mind, that's just a personal prediction. I think this stock is going to pretty much go to the moon and then on afterwards in the long term. I would consider it pretty comparable to Apple stock or Amazon stock. But my point here is that if we are being emotional about the market today, then I would say, oh no, I've lost over $5,000, almost $6,000 in losses. I might as well just get out now and forget it all, forget investing. And just listening to your emotions, it leads you down a path that you don't want to go down because it's not good for you in the long term. And so a way that you can kind of combat this mindset is by looking at days like today as opportunities. So let's say I had cash today and I actually wanted to pick up some more Tesla stock, then I would look at today as a discount. Keep in mind, this is a discount that happens at random times. You don't know when it's going to happen. So when it does, it gives you the chance to take advantage of it. And when you make that purchase, you don't know where the stock is going to go into the future. But if you have done your research and you have a lot of conviction about the company, then you can decide to hold that stock through the long term, through the thick and thin, and take advantage of these red days that we get every so often, especially the huge discounts like minus 12%, minus 20%. Those are the days where I really like to take advantage of Tesla stock being on sale. But in terms of just beginner investing knowledge, I would say try to keep your emotions separated from the stock market. Maybe it's just my personality, but I've really never had too much trouble with this. I'm one of these people where if I learn, this is the rule of something, if I learn that's the rule and that's like the mindset that I should have, then I pretty much just learn it right off the bat and try to apply it to my mindset. So that's what I've been able to do. That's why I've been able to lose over $20,000 in one day and not even bat an eye. And that's just because I'm weighing the different outcomes. I could either sell it in the short term and regret it in the long term, or I could either hold on to the stock, take advantage of it, and buy more if I have cash on the sidelines. And in the long term, I'm going to be stacking my cash because I held Tesla stock instead of panic selling and listening to my emotions. And honestly, in some situations, it's really just much more beneficial for you, even if it's not the stock market, for you to avoid thinking emotionally, especially when it comes to due diligence and knowing the facts and things like that. Not being an emotional thinker is something something that I think is absolutely huge. So not only does this apply to the stock market, but it can apply to other things as well that can help you out as a person much more. And not being an emotional thinker is another reason why people were able to find Tesla stock early, even much earlier than I was able to find it. I have to admit, one of the major reasons I didn't invest in Tesla was just because I didn't really get into the stock market much until later in 2019. So I basically knew nothing about stocks or Tesla or anything like that beforehand, except like just general knowledge. But not being an emotional investor is another reason why a lot of these people were able to figure out Tesla early on. They were able to ignore the perspectives coming from quote analysts from mainstream media that were basically saying Tesla is worthless. I know that before this year, the perspective on Tesla was a lot worse than it is now. Now there's some analysts that are pretty confident in Tesla. A lot of retail investors love Tesla, but I know that hasn't always been the case for Tesla. So to be able to separate your emotions from the market and actually do your research on the information about Tesla as a company beforehand, when everyone else was basically saying this company is worthless and they couldn't just grasp that long-term perspective for Tesla, that's where a lot of these early investors got the upper hand in the beginning. So in terms of just general knowledge, keeping your emotions separated from the stock market is definitely a good idea in my opinion. That's the reason I'm able to lose so much on some days and not worry about it whatsoever. So if you're having trouble with that, maybe it's just better if you don't look at your portfolio that much every day. As long as you have that long-term vision and you trust the company that you invested in, then you might just not want to look at your portfolio as much if you find that it's stressing you out a little bit. Anyways, I know there wasn't anything super special to talk about today, so I tried to add in a little bit of piece of knowledge just from personal experience and stuff like that, since there wasn't too much going on today with a portfolio update to talk about. So anyways, please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and also feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks, and especially with Webull right now, you can get one free stock valued up to $1,600. And keep in mind, to get that, all you have to do is sign up with my referral link and deposit $100 into your account, and you can also take that $100 deposit right back out after you get your free stock. So it's basically just nice passive income with minimal effort. Just want to let y'all know about that. Plus, it helps support the channel as well. But hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.